Hey guys, Jacob with Jacob Comics. Happy new comic book day 12/28/2022, the last new comic book day of the year. Um, I am still super disappointed if you watched yesterday's episode, and so I'm trying my best to be enthusiastic, but it's still kind of hard. I still haven't filled out all the paperwork on CGC's website to return the 23 that are cracked or broken. So there was only two after going through everything. There was only two left. That or two that weren't broken. Uh, so yeah. Obviously, I will keep everybody updated with what happens. Maybe next week by New Comic Book Day, if CGC reaches out to me or anything like that, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, and until they arrive back in 2 or 3 months. So yeah, New Comic Book Day. Before we get dived into what books that I got this week, I do want to let you guys know, as always, about the 600 subscriber giveaway. And when we hit 600 subscribers, we'll be giving this book away. It's a Marvel #1 rare variant. All you have to do is like the video, comment down below, and be subscribed to the channel. Alright guys, let's get dived into the books that I got this week. And if you've been watching the channel, I've been a little under the weather, so I'm a little behind on the dark web stuff and all these books. I haven't read anything yet, unfortunately. Hopefully I'll be able to get to that this weekend. I'm probably taking tomorrow off. I do have a crazy enough, I guess. Yeah, before we get completely dived into this, one other little story here. So I actually have another 25 book order that's supposed to be here on Friday. So everybody cross your fingers with me that maybe Friday I get 25 books and they're all beautiful and nothing's wrong with them and I get good grades, and I don't know, maybe we can turn this frown upside down and CGC can right their wrongs, or right CGC can right FedEx's wrongs, which is unfortunate for CGC, but that's pretty much the best way to take care of the situation, because everything was insured through CGC. So basically, I just send it back to them, and they're gonna bill FedEx for it, and then maybe internally FedEx will do an investigation. I guess that's how it's all gonna play out, because I don't want to push anybody's buttons or make the mail carrier mad at me. You know what I'm saying? So here we did get a Detective Comics issue 1067, continuing Ram V's run. Looks like an Iceman devoted issue, or Mr. Freeze, excuse me. It's like a issue devoted on Mr. Freeze. He's a super cool bad guy. That could be pretty good. And got another DC book this week. This one took a while to get to issue #2. The first issue, I think, came out like 2 months ago. But this one's written by Paul Dano, the actor that played the Riddler in the Batman movie. So it's kind of an interesting side note. He had never written a comic before this, and I thought issue #1 wasn't bad. So continuing on with Paul Dano's origin of Riddler in the Riddler Year 1, book #2. And it is within the Batman universe, like the Batman cinematic universe, so it's not canon to the DC comic universe. It's canon to just that Batman franchise that just came out with Paul Dano as Riddler. And so let's get dived into the Marvel books. Bunch of Spider-Man stuff this week. I'm pretty trying to get excited about it, guys. It super awesome cover, right? This one's Carnage #8, and I think 7 came out again like 2.5 months ago. It's been a while since we've we've gotten any Carnage. So definitely curious to see. I want them to continue the story with the new symbiote. And see, look, I can remember his name 2 months later, so it shows I actually do like the character. Detective Jonathan Shade, the new symbiote. I don't think that's him right there, but he's kind of got a part of Carnage's symbiote and seems to have Carnage powers and is chasing him. And he's a detective in the police, so I thought it was kind of interesting. You know, he can solve crimes and and wield the power of a symbiote. So here we have Amazing Spider-Man 16, continuing the dark web. I think 1, 2, 3. So yeah, these next 3 are gonna be all dark webs. If I can get caught up, guys, I'll continue trying to get all the dark webs. I'm still gonna buy them, but I I fell behind a couple issues cause I've been sick and everything. Yeah, but that check that cover out. I really love these green covers they've been doing. I kind of looked at them and looked at them, and it didn't look like it was something that actually lines up in any sort of way. It's just a motif they're using, which is still kind of a cool thought. I like doing that as a motif, and as we'll see, so that's Amazing Spider-Man 16. This one continues the motif as well, although there's a lot less of it. And as I said, I looked and looked trying to play puzzle, and they don't fit together, unfortunately. But it's a cool motif. And so this one is Dark Web X-Men number 2. And this one also with the motif and this really awesome Venom versus Spider-Man cover on Venom number 14. Super cool. Yeah. not gonna spoil anything, but it's actually happening. Venom and Spider-Man are fighting again. They came up with a reason. And then the last one is the I don't know if you want to call a Dark Web X-Men an X-Men book. It's more of the Dark Web tie-in, but so this was I call this the lone X-Men book this week. New Mutants 33. Super cool cover. Magic looks really upset. It says the end of an era. Who will survive? I don't know if it's the last issue. I guess I didn't look. Either it's the last issue or it's the last issue for this creative team and they're handing off to a new creative team. I'm not sure with Marvel all the time. It'll be kind of sad to see Albuquerque go. I've enjoyed the art. So, I don't know. There's New Mutants 33. That's what I have today, guys. The loud and obnoxious black bag is empty. Like I said, I hopefully we'll see those books back and until then, I'm keeping my fingers crossed that they retain the grades. Just in case you are curious, that like I said, this actually did happen once before, and that's what I had done the first time. Was filed a mechanical, or it's not mechanical. Excuse me. Filed. Something, it's on there. You file it as like an error, and they pay for the shipping back to CGC's warehouse. They re-encapsulate it for free, and then they pay free shipping to ship it back to you. So there's no additional charges or anything like that to me. It's just the kind of hurt because you know, and there is a possibility that during the cracking of the broken cases, or if some had received damage extensively to the whole enclosure, it you can lose a grade, and that's upon CGC to determine when they receive the books back. They then crack them, and from my understanding, when I talked to them the first time this happened, basically if the inner well is what it's called. If you've watched my demonstration of a crack press tutorial, the inner well, the part that's inside the plastic case, the second plastic case inside. So if the second plastic case inside is intact, then they do not regrade the book. They simply take that inner well and put it into a new case, reprint you a new label with the same certification number. I don't know how they stamp it or whatever. I didn't ask all that, but yeah, then they glue it back together, smash it back together, however they do all that. And I've always assumed that's like a machine part, like you just stick the inner well in a machine, but I don't know. Anyways, so yeah, that's kind of how that works, which is why the 3 that had extremely broken corners were extra disturbing to me when they got the 9/8, because are they going to come back 9/8s? To me, the inner wells look fine and undamaged, and should you be able to crack the rest of the case out and get the inner well out, they should retain the same grade. One other, it just popped into my head, run off another question in case it comes to light or someone thinks about it. If you can't, I can't crack them myself, and then send them back. They do need to still be in a form within the original outer casing, as such that there was no way I could tamper and put a new one in, if that makes sense. So like the ones with the corners were very broken, you still couldn't pull the inner well out, and it wouldn't fall out on its own because the other corner was thankfully still there. So that is also there's so yeah, it's just, that's kind of how it goes, and that's why it's disturbing to me, is just because the extent of the damage to the case is going to be at which point CGC decides that they have to cut the book out and then take it over to the grading department to have it regraded. And at that point, I feel like you would definitely be losing a grade, probably, with the extra handling, the fact that it's been in a case and already had a grade, and now someone's cut it out, pulled it out, and then it's not been repressed and cleaned. Because at that point, it probably still doesn't have enough damage on the book. You just could repress it, any sort of handling, but that's just a lot of extra handling, extra I'm running on and on. This whole thing has been just kind of a nightmare. It's just like the first time that it happened. I just want them back and in good condition now. And so I know now I'm going to have 2 months of kind of this extra bothersome irk of like, I've got 23 of these Venom books, 17 of which are 9/8s, and are they still going to be 9/8s? So that's what I have today, guys. Appreciate you stopping by. If you watch this far into the video, appreciate you. Much love. Like I said, I don't think we'll see you guys tomorrow. Works quite today. But we'll see you guys on Friday. Uh, Hopefully, the new books come in and are delivered as they are said to be delivered. If not, maybe Saturday. I might take 2 days off. I don't know. Like I said, this has just been it. This one really bothered me. I want to say I spent 2.5 months working on these 25 books, and when you look at the numbers, it's the best grade wise. It's probably not the most expensive submission that I've ever gotten back, like as far as how much value is there, but it is the best grade wise that I've ever gotten. And I was determined when I started work on this Venom submission. It was a somewhat of an experiment. I was determined. I wanted to see if I spent a lot of extra time on every book, making sure I really got everything out of the front and back covers, how beneficial would that be towards my percentage of 9/8? And I want to say my previous best was 14 out of 25. So 18 out of 25 is quite the improvement. And that's another reason why this is so disappointing, disheartening, and having to wait to see if that's still going to be what I get back. I put a lot of hard work into it. And that comes with some emotion. You know what I'm saying? You at least for me, when you bring yourself to the table and you approach a project and you're gonna do it, you bring your A game. You bring everything you have. You pour everything into it, which leads you towards being emotional with your results. And that's just the best way to put it. If you're wondering who's been hanging out here with me today, trying to provide me a little company, not only is it Donovan at off camera like always, but for Christmas I did get a Spider-Man 2099 action figure from Walmart from the new Enter the Spider-Verse movies. So I know, like, just to throw this out there real fast, if people are like, huh. So I got him for like $11. This is why I'm stoked about it. I got him for only like $11. And like a Marvel Legends Spider-Man 2099 is like $80, and you can only find them on eBay because they came out like years ago. So I think it's kind of cool. I found an action figure of my favorite character. He's got one little attachment, not the greatest of articulation, but his elbows move, and you could sit him down, and he's got this kind of like red webs attachment. All right, guys. We'll see you in a couple days. Have a great day.